In 2019, there were a lot of prospects who we can all agree had very bright futures in the league. You had Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Royce Lewis, and Eloy Jimenez, just to name a few guys. Now, those prospects I just mentioned were talked about a lot as to becoming a star. But if there is one man who we can all agree was looked at as the epitome of greatness when coming into the MLB, it was this guy.
The absolute beast that is Fernando Tatís Jr.
Fernando Tatís Jr.
Padres shortstop Fernando Tatís Jr.
Fernando Tatís Jr. was ranked as the second best prospect in baseball in 2019. Just a year later in 2020, he was being compared to Alex Rodriguez. He would go on to be a two-time Silver Slugger Award winner in 3 seasons, make the All-Star team, place 4th for MVP voting in 2020, then 3rd in 2021, get a huge extension with the Padres that will expire in 2035, and he will be making an average salary of $24,285,714. Fernando Tatís Jr.'s career seemed like it would be full of memorable moments. But now, his career is looking like the complete opposite. His own general manager publicly stated how he hopes Tatís is more mature. Tatís has been losing many connections with companies or reliable people, and a lot of baseball fans from around the world have lost a lot of respect for the man. While all of this has been going on, Tatís has been in deep regret and has tried to justify himself and say that he messed up, but it hasn't worked out. So let me ask the question. How does a man go from a top 10 player in baseball to a disappointment to the entire baseball world? Fernando Tatís Jr. was born in San Pedro de Macorís, Dominican Republic. His family was known for having a good baseball player. Tatís' father, Fernando Tatís Sr., played in the major leagues for 11 years. He played for 5 different MLB teams, but if you're asking me, I'd say most fans remember him from playing on the Cardinals. Tatís Sr.'s best season of his career was in 1999, where at the age of 24, he put up a .298 batting average with 34 home runs, 107 RBIs, 21 stolen bases, and an on-base percentage of .404. It's safe to say Fernando Tatís Sr. left a good example to his son on how to have a good baseball career. What was even better is that Tatís Jr. was invited to watch his father play in person when he played in St. Louis. Watching his dad play helped him learn more about the game and style of play. And since Tatís' father was a Major League Baseball player, he was allowed to go into the clubhouse where he could learn more from some of his teammates. When Tatís first started playing baseball, there was one guy he practiced with who had an incredible career. He was an 8-time All-Star, 2-time Gold Glover, World Series champion, 5-time Silver Slugger, and a Home Run Derby champion. His name is Robinson Cano. I'm sure Cano must have felt great seeing how the young guy he once trained ended up becoming one of the best shortstops in the league today. But now let's move on to a relatively big part of Tatís' baseball career. In 2015, Tatís signed with the Chicago White Sox as an international free agent from the Dominican Republic. This was where Tatís could start showing the baseball world what he is all about. Fernando Tatís Jr. didn't even last 4 years in the minor leagues due to how beastly he was. The man played so well in the minor leagues that he got called up from AA to the major leagues. To put it into perspective, on opening day, Fernando Tatís Jr. was 20 years and 85 days young. He was the youngest Padre to play on opening day since Roberto Alomar in 1988. What was even more surprising is the last time any MLB player who was that young or younger played on opening day was Adrian Beltre in 1999 at the age of 19. Beltre was playing for the Los Angeles Dodgers and opening day started for them on April 5th, 1999, which means that Fernando Tatís Jr. was a little over 3 months old when Adrian Beltre made his MLB debut. That in itself is already a huge achievement. But wait till I tell you how he did in his rookie season. In just 84 games, Fernando Tatís Jr. had a .317 batting average with 22 home runs, 53 RBIs, with 106 hits and a .379 OPS. He placed 3rd in Rookie of the Year voting behind Mike Soroka and Pete Alonso. He was capable of placing 3rd in Rookie of the Year by just playing in 84 games. He was in front of guys like Brian Reynolds, who played 134 games, and Victor Robles, who played 155 games. While these guys played majority of the MLB season, Tatís only played around 4 months of ball. He was doing things I do with my Road to the Show player in MLB The Show. Tatís was already ranked as the second best prospect in baseball, as people were already saying this guy was going to take over. What made things even better was that Tatís' style of play and attitude on the field was attractive. Being a show-off, doing bat flips, doing unique celebrations with teammates. I mean, people love to see that. He was the perfect guy who can grow the game. 2020 was supposed to be the year we see the full season of Fernando Tatís Jr. being a stud, but due to COVID-19, we weren't really able to see that. But that doesn't mean Tatís was all that bad, even though it was a shorter season. In 59 games, Tatís had a .277 batting average with 17 home runs and 45 RBIs, with a .937 OPS and a strikeout percentage of 23.7. Due to COVID, there wasn't an All-Star game, but I'm sure Tatís was on track to make it. He finished the 2020 season placing 4th for MVP voting, but more importantly, winning his first Silver Slugger award. He became the first Padre to win the Silver Slugger since Chase Headley in 2012. Tatís had some notable moments in the 2020 season. Some good, some controversial. But it wasn't his fault. When he hit a grand slam off of the Rangers in 2020, he had to apologize for it. Obviously, this is just messed up because Tatís was a 21-year-old trying to have fun and grow the game. Since Tatís' name was getting more and more popular, he started doing more endorsements, like a hydration drink Bolt 24, being the cover athlete of MLB The Show 21, and teaming up with one of the biggest sports companies in the world, Adidas. Tatís was also starting to grow in the media as he went from just 25,000 followers on Instagram in 2018 to having 1.3 million followers as of today. Fans knew that Tatís was only getting better, and in 2021, that's exactly what he did. Tatís would make his first All-Star game at just the age of 22, and in 130 games, he had a .282 batting average with 42 home runs, 97 RBIs, 25 stolen bases, and a slug of .611. He placed third in MVP voting and won another Silver Slugger award. Tatís played so well that it was announced in 2021 he would be having his own documentary. I will say it is a bit early, but it didn't matter. Tatís was playing so well that he was ranked as the third best player coming into the 2022 MLB season. Tatís was supposed to continue matching baseballs in 2022, but because of an injury, that caused him to miss about half the season. Tatís would end up fracturing his wrist and having surgery on it in March 2022. He suffered the injury after a motorcycle accident, and let's just say Tatís wasn't the first player to get injured from an accident like this. In 2017, Madison Bumgarner suffered a shoulder injury after crashing his dirt bike. Although the injuries weren't the same, Bumgarner's game was somewhat affected. Even though he was still pitching very well, he wasn't touching the stats he had a few years back. But anyways, Tatís was supposed to return in 2022 until this happened.
Would like to start this day just by saying I'm truly sorry. I am really sorry. I have let so many people down. I have lost so much love from people.
Fernando Tatís Jr. was suspended for 80 games due to performance-enhancing drugs. When I tell you that the second this hit the media, people went crazy, I mean it. First off, this made the Padres look really bad because they didn't have their key guy. Although they are still winning without him, it's not going to be as easy winning that World Series. The Padres had their worst month of ball in July as they went 11-14, but it seems like they picked it up a bit in the month of August. We'll see how they do in the playoffs, but it definitely won't be easy without Tatís. As for team chemistry, it doesn't seem like Tatís' teammates are happy with him. Both Manny Machado and Mike Clevenger said they hope Tatís learns to grow up someday. Same with AJ Preller, who said he hopes Tatís matures up a bit. The Padres also decided to cancel Fernando Tatís Jr.'s bobblehead night on September 7th. It seemed like the Padres really wanted to distance themselves from Tatís. As for endorsements, Adidas dropped Fernando Tatís Jr., MLB The Show players and baseball fans said that San Diego Studios needs to remove Tatís as the cover athlete of MLB The Show 21. And let's just say that the majority of Tatís fans are more than disappointed in him. But here's the thing. The Padres can't get rid of Tatís because they signed him for 14 years, $340 million. Maybe the situation right here is to teach other teams a lesson about not signing a player for a long period of time. Either way, Tatís is going to be a Padre for a long time. And whether the Padres like it or not, they need to cooperate. Tatís knows what he did wrong, and even if it was the slightest mistake, he still takes the blame. We'll see how exactly this affects Tatís' career, but if you're asking me, his legacy has been severely affected.